Hello everyone, welcome to my channel, and today is a very special day because we are going to talk a lot about supplementation. So what are the misconceptions, how to choose, is it really the right supplement for you? Everything will be covered in detail about supplementation by a very special guest, Rashi Mathur today. Rashi is a certified functional medicine practitioner and a nutritionist trained at the School of FMCA, and for the past 6 years, Rashi has been deeply involved in the functional medicine, working properly alongside with a team of doctors to research and implement the functional diet and supplement strategies. She is also a co-founder of Vavan and has been a fantastic resource in educating people on how to use supplements properly.
Hello, Rashi. Welcome to my channel. I'm so glad that you made it to this podcast because this is one topic that is so popular. And I wanted to debunk all the myths that people have around supplementation. So I thought that nobody can be better than you explaining this to us. So, welcome to my podcast. Thank you so much for having this medium for us to spread the knowledge and the awareness about supplementation.
Thank you, Shikha. It's my pleasure to be here and, do this podcast with you.
Yes. Okay. So let's straight begin with the most popular question that comes to me. I have been practicing from last almost 12, 15 years now. And from day one, I have been getting this question, and I think I'm really tired of answering this to everybody. So through you, I want to know about the protein supplements. This is like such a big topic, and it's so scary for people to start with this supplement, especially with the doctors. They will be discouraging them, especially in India, is what I have seen. Like in US here, I don't see that much, but yes, in India I have seen a lot of doctors will be scaring the patients that you should not be taking this, it's going to affect your kidney, your liver, or anything like that. So what is the right way, you can say, about the supplementation? What is the best way to select? What is it really safe, or is it going to damage anything if you take it in the long run? Also, some of the people say that you should be taking protein powder only if you're working out. So is it really something like that, or can we just take it in general basis also? Please go ahead.
Okay, so Shikha, I'm just going to break down everything a little bit systematically so we understand that, it's not only about protein. Supplements in general, why they are discouraged and why there is a lack of knowledge regarding supplements. Firstly, we need to understand the supplement market in India, right? The certifications required to get into the supplement industry in India. What are the certifications we look for? So, I'll just start with a very, small story about how we started Vavan supplements and why was it the need of the hour. So it was the year 2015. And as you know, Dr. Anish Musa, he's the founder and the creator of these supplements, Vavan. He was learning functional medicine back then. And functional medicine, as you know, a lot of the practitioners use variety of supplements in their practice. So at that time, he was using the over-the-counter supplements, the Indian brands, over-the-counter supplements. He tried various supplements, but he wasn't really, getting any results out of it. So it was quite contradictory on what he was learning versus what results he was getting, right? So going further into research, he started using international brands of supplements. And that time, the practice of functional medicine was already thriving in the US. Yes. So there were a lot of these supplement brands who were making these formulations, especially for the practice of functional medicine, for the practitioners, doctors, nutritionists were using them. And then he started using them. Now he saw a huge difference in terms of results, right? Yeah. He realized that these supplements are clinically very effective, right? They give results. So, what is the difference between these OTC supplements and these supplements? That research went in depth. He realized that they are using therapeutic doses, they're using active compounds, and these supplements are very bioavailable. So, your body is able to use them better and use them in better dosages, right? These supplements are not made in very low dosages or according to the RDA. They are used in therapeutic doses, basically these international supplements. So that is where the research started, and he started formulating these supplements here in India. But then he realized the biggest problem was the raw materials are not available of these active compounds because they're very high quality, right?
Yeah.
They're all USP grade raw materials. And in India, most of the supplement nutraceuticals, they use supplements as per prices, right? So there's a lot of grading happening in raw materials. You get raw materials which is USP grade, you get raw materials which is food grade, you get raw materials which are pharma grades, right? So
We'll
as
talk
per
about
what
this
your
part later in more detail because we will, I think, cover that as well about the
absolute.
USB one. Yeah.
So different grades were available. He started looking and sourcing for the USP grade. Though these supplements, these raw materials were really expensive, he cracked it. He got, people to get him these ingredients, which are active compounds, which are methylated supplements, right? And he started formulating them like a boutique brand. That time, the brand was called Nutritive.
Okay.
I already at that time was, studying my functional medicine. And I also was using a lot of international brands of supplements just like him. But I was, these supplements are not easy to source when you are in India. Once they get over, then, it's hard for us to get them back. So I started looking for methylated B complex online. And he was the only person where I found that he was making, he was using methylated folate, right? Me having, the AMT-HFR gene defect, my homocysteine levels were always high. I already knew the science. But then when I connected to him, and I was like so happy that, there was somebody who was making these formulations in India. And then, we connected, and there were not a lot of people back then.
Yeah,
There
it was
were
really
really not a lot of people
also.
back then.
I remember,
And
I remember that with my practice also. Yeah.
absolutely. And that's, where we connected, at a deeper level where we were discussing a lot of, supplements, we were discussing a lot of formulations, we were discussing a lot of cases, and we started working together, right? He as the doctor, me as the coach. I think the, team was really good. That time we were operating the Ultra Wellness Clinic. And since then till now, we have treated more than 5,000 patients, right? And most of them I can even remember. I can recall back a lot of the patients we have treated back. And it was very successful. Using a combination of these therapeutic doses and, giving them the benefit of the elimination diet. I was teaching them elimination diet. He was doing the supplement part. We were making new formulations. We came up with the thyroid support. And the results were phenomenal.
Amazing.
We almost had 95%, of our patients coming back and saying like, this is magic. Never felt this way. And I felt that same about my health, Until date, there is no other brand of supplements I use. I only honestly use Vavan. And so does, Dr.
Even my patients, oh my God, in India, if I have to give something, nothing else you will take, but this only this. This is the only thing allowed for you in this program that anybody comes to me because the level of transformation is amazing with Vita One. I can see that. Amazing.
Absolutely. And that's where the trust comes from, right?
Yes.
So if you are using your own supplements, you know that, and you're giving it to your whole family, you know that you are going to be sourcing the best and, making the best formulation.
Absolutely. What about the protein? How did you come up with the protein supplement? Because that's what was my question initially to you. Just debunk everything about the protein in the market.
See, it's actually very interesting that, why we had to create a vegan protein in a market where this whole India is flooded with protein. See, in the practice of functional medicine, if you know, the first gold standard followed by coaches or nutritionists or doctors is elimination diet. We need to do the because a lot of autoimmune patients come to us, be it thyroid and a lot of digestive disorders. So when we put them on FODMAP diets, when we put them on elimination diets, dairy is what we eliminate, right? A lot of patients come with gut issues. When we do, take a history of their diet, we see that they are very deficient in their protein, right? They're barely eating protein. Be it a non-vegetarian. In India, you don't eat chicken every day. You don't eat red meat every day. It's occasional, right? So even non-vegetarians, 90% of the non-vegetarians are deficient in protein. Now to find a vegan protein, which did not have excessive sugar, which did not have excessive carbohydrates, did not have fillers, binders. We needed to do that, right? Because every protein we picked, some or the other problem was there, right?
Yeah.
Either they had some kind of artificial sweetener, or they're adding some kind of additives, and we can't do that to our patients, right? Because they are gut patients. We can't use any kind of maltodextrin, and the carbohydrates of some of the protein powders, if you're using for diabetic patients, it can even go up to 30 grams of net carbohydrates, and that's not what we wanted. So that is when we decided that, we want to source our own protein powder, a vegan one, which we can use for our patients. And now you won't believe that how many doctors actually use our protein powder, because it is so easy to digest. It's even
Yes.
used for elemental diets, right? For a lot of variety of patients who come, and they find it very easy to digest. But one thing I would like to point out, I've never come across a protein powder, at least in India, to my knowledge, that has added phospholipids. And that I would really, give the credit to Dr. Anish, because the kind of research he does in terms of, what exactly is needed to make a product bioavailable, right? So he's just not looking at one aspect of the protein. He even looked at that, your cellular health. Go deep down to, what is required by your cells. It's phospholipids, right?
Yes.
So he added the phospholipids to our protein. And that is where the protein is different from other proteins, because it gives better benefit in
Yeah. So
terms
can
of
you please
your cellular
explain
health
about our
also.
audience? Can you explain about the phospholipid benefits to our audience? Because not everybody will know. Why is it so important?
The phospholipid is the covering around your cell, right? It's what gives the fluidity to your cells, right? So if with age, we all know that, the one thing you need to maintain is your mitochondrial health. You have to concentrate on it. That is anti-aging, right? Mitochondrial health is anti-aging. So phospholipids are basically fats which help to maintain the fluidity of your cell membranes, right? And when the fluidity of your cell membranes are maintained, you have a better mitochondrial health, right? And it makes the protein much more bioavailable, penetrate the cells. See, the science of supplement is simple. Anything that has to work has to be bioavailable and has to be able to work on a cellular level, right? So when we talk about magnesium, right, there are multiple magnesium brands. But why does our magnesium stand out? If somebody asks me, I say, because it is bioavailable, it is water soluble, right? It can penetrate the cells. It goes directly into the cells. So that is what makes magnesium work. It has to be in the ionic form. A lot of people tell me, you're using citrate, you're using this. I said, it doesn't matter. If the magnesium is bioavailable, if it is ionic, please use the ionic form. Most of the international brands you see, they're using water soluble magnesium. They're just not using even partially soluble magnesium. Because that's how the science, says that you really need, if you want results, you need to make sure that these supplements are water soluble or bioavailable.
Yes. And will the protein powder affect the kidney and the liver if we have it on the regular basis?
See, uh, first we need to assess that is our diet complete in the protein are we taking, right? So even if we go to the basic level, right, the uh, protein levels change, I think, every 5 years, right? That you need 1.2 grams of protein per kg of body weight. You need uh, 0.08 grams of protein per body weight, per kg per body weight. But at least the minimum requirement is 1 gram of protein per kg of body weight. So, for example, if somebody comes to us and their weight is around 65 kilos, that's the average weight you find in around Indian women, their weight goes from 55 to 65 kgs, right? So firstly, we need to assess in their diet, are they taking enough protein, right? Is the protein enough? Even if they are taking 60 to 70 grams of protein, I don't see that. I don't see it
I
anywhere,
don't see that.
right? And then they say that can we get the protein through the diet, right? I'm saying, of course, but I'll have to keep adding the foods. how much foods can I add? How will the weight loss work? Right? Because vegetarian food is also heavy in carbohydrates. If it does have protein, it has carbohydrates too. Right? If you are insulin resistant, I would have to limit the carbohydrates. Right? So if you feel, after calculating the amount of protein in the diet, you feel that you're doing well, there's enough protein, then definitely there's no point to supplement, or there's no reason to supplement. But 90% of the Indians are deficient in proteins. And this was the data given by the ICMR, right? That 90%, even the non-vegetarian, they're all deficient in protein. So then we need to decide, do we need to supplement or do we need to be deficient? What is protein needed for? It's needed for the repair of our body, to heal, right? It's not just for, building muscles or workout. Every person needs protein to live, to repair, to build, and to heal.
Yes, exactly my point. And a lot of people think that, I have to do the high intensity workout, and the day I don't do the workout, I have to skip the protein powder. I keep saying them that do your basic needs at least first. That is out of question.
Absolutely.
After workout is a different game altogether.
Shikha, the one thing I would like to highlight, it's not the protein powders which are harmful. It is the fake protein powders which are not tested, tried.
Yes.
And then one case pops out from somewhere, right? That this person took protein powder and this is the problem they faced, and they had liver issues. Because obviously the liver will get affected if you're taking a fake protein powder, which can have, a lot of toxins in it. It can have mold, it can have a lot of contamination. So we need to worry about the fake protein powders. But if you are taking a good quality protein powder from a trusted brand, it's going to do you good than harm.
Exactly. Even like, the quality of the whey protein and the casein that you get in the market, the quality of the milk. I think Dr. Anish had a lecture once I attended, and he said that around 600 tons of fake paneer was found in Ahmedabad. That's what he said. The data came out. So you can imagine the quality of milk that you get, and you're making the whey from that. Oh my God, the quality of the protein is going to be terrible. So obviously it will give you side effects. So choosing the right one is also, I think, the highlighting point here. So now coming to this most important questions is this only, that how do you actually know the quality of the supplement? Because a lot of people feel that you have to get an FDA approved, and that is very important. Is it really that important? And when you spoke about the certification and the USP certifications and all those technologies that you spoke about, so please highlight those points, and why is it needed to do that and not every time it has to be FDA? Please highlight some points on that.
Very, very interesting. Even now, people, when they talk about Vavan supplements, they're like, are you FDA approved? Here in India, we need a FSI license. We need the license which is required for Indian companies, which is the FSSAI license, right? Yes. And that's the only requirement here. Yeah. Even the US companies are not FDA approved supplements, right? Yes. You need the pharmaceutical drugs, need that kind of approval. FDA is not a benchmark for to see if how your supplements work or if they are. How do you analyze, right? See, because the supplement market in India is very easy. Honestly, it's very easy. All you need to do is, you need whatever kind of formulations you want, whatever kind of supplements you need to make a one call to companies, and they'll formulate it for you. But what goes inside these supplements, you don't know. You haven't sourced each and every ingredient out of these supplements, right? So we don't know what is going on. And you can get a FSSI license easily, and then you can get your brand. So there are a lot of, companies out there who have all the licenses. If you go on their website, they'll have 10 licenses. They're this approved, they're that approved. But in the end, right, do we know what they are putting inside? How are they sourcing their ingredients? There are two kinds of companies, right, in the supplement world. One is a marketing company, right? Mm-hmm. You make your products, you market well. You are, you're not really a product focused company, right? Yes. That's, you market it really well, and everything is like, going well. People are using your supplements. They're not getting that kind of a clinical effectiveness, right? that is why they say, oh, supplements don't work. It's just expensive urine. But here, we are a product focused company, right? So each and every ingredient that goes into a supplement or a capsule, when we encapsulate it, it is sourced by us, it is tested by us, right? And then when we encapsulate it, we do a third party testing by independent lab, right? To know that whatever we are putting inside the capsule or inside the supplement, right, it claims what we provide, right? So, for example, if we claim that our B12 has 1200 or 1000 mcg of B12, by the third party testing labs, independent labs, international labs, we test it and we claim and we know that this is what we have put. It's not less. There are a lot of, companies you will test, they will say that this has, 300 mg of magnesium, it has this, but when you go and test it in labs, it might be having hardly even 1/4 of the quantity. So how is the supplement going to be effective, right? So if you are a product focused company, you will make sure every ingredient sourced, every raw material sourced is tried, tested by you yourself, and you're just not going for a random third party manufacturing, right? You have control over what you are manufacturing, what you are producing, and what you are giving. So I think that is one of the main focus we should do, instead of all the time trying to focus on certifications, because the easiest thing to do is get certifications. We can get 20 certifications, but that does not mean that these certifications are going to give you the best quality supplement. Take a supplement. If you have, trust issues, go and test it independently in a lab. If the supplement claims what it has, you know that it's a good and it's a true brand.
But how do you see that if it is really a product focused company? Is there a way to find that out by looking at some products?
Yes. See, because a product focused company will know that what kind of formulations are bioavailable, right? So, for example, now that the science is really moving ahead, and there's a lot of research in it. A lot of the US companies, they are using active compounds in their formulation, right? And if you see, they are just not using cheap ingredients or inactive compounds like for example, there's cyanocobalamin, there's methylcobalamin, right? Now, methylcobalamin is a methylated form. It's an active compound of B12. It works better, because a lot of people, being not even aware that, they do have high homocysteine levels, right? And one way to get your homocysteine levels down is to use methylated B complex, right? So, yes, you can come to know by seeing the formulations of a company, what kind of formulations are they making? Are they making it in the correct form? Are they combining it with the correct amino acids to make it bioavailable? So that is a lot of science and research goes to it. But once you get a hang of it, then you will know. And I think basically for consumers, it's all about trust. Whom they trust. They trust their doctors, they trust their nutritionists, they trust their health coaches, and that is where the knowledge comes from. It is very important for us all as a community to be well informed so that we can guide the consumers better.
Yeah, because even in the ingredients, I see that like 2 days back, I had seen the prenatals and a lot of supplements over the counter here. Oh my God, they had maltodextrin, they had all sort of preservatives, even fillers and bulking agents, and so many things were there. And whereas the supplements, which like in Vita one, when I see the ingredients and something here from US, like pure encapsulation designed for, you see the ingredient list. It's just made with the capsule, which is the vegetable capsule, and just 2, 3 more, and they are good to go. So even from that, I think people can understand, like, when you are able to read the ingredients well, and you know that these are very simple ingredients, that also makes sure that, the product is really good quality. If you have so many different names and you don't know about it, I think that's something that is out of question to actually pick and choose from. Great. So I'm happy that this question is actually solved for the ones who have this question always in their head, that do I have to take a FDA approved, because a lot of doctors will focus on that. Anyways,
FDA is not even is not even a requirement.
Yeah, for
Of the
supplementation, right?
nutraceutical
Yeah.
industry here in India. You
Yeah,
need
yeah.
the
Even here,
FSSAI license here.
yeah. Even here, I was talking to Dr. Anish. Even he said to me that it's not even required. It's just for the medications and drugs. It's not needed for this. So I was like, oh, this is new for me also. I didn't know about this. So I had to educate my patients about this. So thank you for this question that you answered so beautifully. I think it will give a lot of.
And we need to check one thing, that the manufacturing facility is a GMP facility, good
Yeah,
manufacturing
right.
practices, and it's just not any company who are not using good manufacturing practices to make these supplements. So a
Yes.
GMP facility is quite a requirement when you
Yes.
want to see.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, so my next question is that a lot of people think that just a balanced diet is sufficient and give me through food only. Do I need to have supplement? Is it really necessary for me to take it? So can you please explain us the situation where you actually need the supplementation? So
You tell me, is food really enough nowadays?
yes,
See,
I know that. Oh my God, I was reading once that the amount of vitamins that one apple used to give in your 1960s or something like that, you have to eat at least 8 apples to meet the same amount of requirement of the vitamins, is what I was reading.
it's very simple science, right? I talk to multiple doctors, talk to multiple nutritionists every day, and I take a lot of their feedback and I take a lot of their views on how they feel about, is food enough? And, coming from the nutrition background, and 90% of the nutritionists, they still are against supplements. They are not okay to, recommend supplements to any of their clients, right? The hesitation is always there because they always say, food's enough, food's enough. But when you actually see how deficient these patients are, even after doing your program or your diets for 3 months, 6 months, have their B12 levels gone up? Have their vitamin D levels gone up? Nothing. There is no change. So here we need to assess, are we okay to run our bodies on empty fuel, right? See, every process in our body, right? Going back to the biochemistry, every process in our body to function require three things. We require vitamins, we require minerals, and we require enzymes, right? If we start having these deficiencies, somewhere our body functions will be affected,
Yeah.
right? So here, when we are taking, see, food will always come first. There is no doubt. But
Yeah.
at the same time, if you're only depending on food and you're okay to stay with your deficiencies, right? These processes in the body will get affected somewhere, right? Versus you take a good quality B12, till your levels go optimal, right? You are taking magnesium if you're not getting, because the magnesium need of our body is much more than
Right.
what we consume, right? Secondly, at this point, the kind of lifestyles we live, right? It's like quick, it's on the go. The supplement or the requirement for nutrients is way higher, right?
Yeah.
It's much higher than, there are a lot of chronic diseases. So when you have any kind of chronic diseases like diabetes or any kind of thyroid issues, or your supplement or your nutrient requirement is much higher, right? So if I have to look in my practice of 7 years, no, the food has never been enough, right? I would always advise, go for the basic nutrition, right? So if you are deficient in your B vitamins, you must supplement till the time you reach the optimal levels, and you will see these changes. They are amazing changes. Now I'll give you a second example. If you are popping omega-3 supplements, right? You're taking a triple action, you're taking triple doses, you're taking high doses, but you've not cut down on your vegetable oils. Your omega-6 is really high. Do you think that supplement's going to work? That supplement's not going to work. It's going to just support you for some time, and then again you'll go back to the same. So supplements do not work until you correct your diet, right?
Absolutely.
So the first thing is, correct your diet,
Mm.
live a good lifestyle, correct your lifestyle, and take supplements as a support system, and supplements work beautifully. But if you are not taking care of your lifestyle, you're not changing your diet, and you think that the supplements are going to make your functions work, or if it's going to make you superhuman, it's not going to do that.
Oh, then
So
everybody
it's a
will be,
complete,
yeah.
absolute, it's a complete outlook in what you have to do in terms of your health. So
Yeah.
it's not only supplements, it's your supplements, your diet, your food, your environment, everything has an interplay.
Absolutely. And I think a lot of people have this misconception also that, if you take the supplement, you have to keep taking it for lifelong, or do I have to take it for some time? So all these kind of questions also keep coming up about the supplementation. So do they need to take it like lifelong? Until when are they supposed to take it? And what could be the effects of that?
I think this is the question I answer maximum to, patients. Um, let's break it down to when patients come to you, right? They are severely deficient, right? So you take these supplements till at least your deficiency is better, right? If you come to vitamin D levels, like, people come even to levels like 5,
Oh my
right? Then when we do supplement them, they come to higher levels to, like, 50 or 60. Now that is overcoming your deficiency, right? So that is the basic requirement of supplement. Second is optimal levels, right? We need supplements in optimal levels, right? We need nutrients in optimal levels to function better as humans, right? So for example, we're getting the magnesium from our diet, right? It's enough for us, but not at an optimal level,
Yeah.
right? We are able to overcome our deficiency, but when we take or supplement and we reach an optimal level where our bodies start functioning better, right? And you will realize this once you take better quality supplements, you will see that how much better your body actually functions at levels of what we call the functional medicine levels of optimal nutrients versus the
And it's very different from
deficient.
the conventional one, the ranges.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So the choice is yours, right? Do you want to maintain optimal levels? You will be taking supplements lifelong, on and off, to see that you know where your levels are, or you just want to overcome your deficiencies,
Yeah.
right? And when and as and when you have deficiencies, you supplement, right? The basic supplements where everybody is deficient is your B vitamins, your B12, your folate, your your vitamin D3, your zinc, your iron, and your magnesium. So these are just basic nutrients.
Yes, absolutely. So I also suggest my patients that you can keep checking your blood work, especially when you're in India. You get the privilege of doing that. Not here, although, but yes, I think they can keep checking the blood work, and based on that, they can decide whether they have to take the therapeutic dose or they can go on the maintenance. So you can always ask your provider for that. Great.
Absolutely.
And what about the 60,000 IU dose that people take for their vitamin D level? So, is it okay to take that, or do we need to
That's
divide it?
fine. That's fine. You have to go by what your practitioner tells you, what your doctor tells you. The optimal dose, the minimal dose required is, as per the functional medicine guidelines, we use 2000 IUs to 5000 IUs daily,
Daily?
right? So that, yes, so that is the dose required by your body. The minimal dose is 2000 IUs to 5000 IUs. And the other way to correct the dosages is to see your blood work. If you're very deficient, your doctors will give you higher doses. If you are on maintenance dose, the minimum dose you require is 2000 IUs a day, and you can go up to 5000 IUs. That's the minimal dose. There are doctors who give 10,000
The
IUs also. I
minimal. I
find the
want to
patients
highlight
doing
that.
better.
Yeah, I want to highlight this to people that it is minimal dose. So it depends on the levels also. Because a lot of people think that, oh, if I'm giving them 10,000 IU per day, oh, is it going to be toxic for me? It's not going to be like that, right?
You have to check levels. You have to see
Yeah.
that where the nutrient status of your patient is, and accordingly one has to advise what kind of dosages need to be given. But in the practice of functional medicine, the minimal dose we use is 2000 to 5000 IUs, and that is why our formulations are also made accordingly, combined with vitamin K.
Yes, that is extremely important. That is also one
Yeah.
thing that I want to tell people is that you should always look for a combination like this, a D3 and a K2.
Vitamin
Very
K2.
rare to find, especially in Indian brands. I don't find that very often. It's only this brand that I know of that actually makes D3 and K2 as a good combination with the right dose.
It's
Uh,
catching up. It's catching up.
Absolutely catching up. Yes.
We did this 7 years back, and when we visited Vira Foods, a lot of the suppliers were saying, "Oh, we are manufacturing K2 now. You must use it with your vitamins." I said, "We had this science
As a
7 years back, and we were way ahead of them. We were teaching everybody. Okay, this is like they were asking Dr. Nish to come and help them for the formulations and learn the new science, and it was amazing to see where our research and knowledge on what we are researching and what the market is actually you know coming to.
I had a tough time finding the combination before, and it's become so easy for me. I don't have to think a lot. I just have to give this, and people are good to go. And it's chewable also. That's the best thing about it. So people don't feel that they're just popping in the pills all the time. So, like, especially the B12 that you guys have is amazing. The absorption value is amazing, and it's chewable. I couldn't find a good chewable form of B12 in India. It was very tough for me. You can imagine somebody having a gut health issue. How do I give them a pill? They are not even absorbing it. So this was something like I could find one or two sprays, even that was not working for the patient. So I had a hard time. And from the time I found this chewable form, I was like, oh, you have done the great job of finding not just the right formulation, but you're also giving a chewable form, which is the need for everyone who has gut health issues. So thank you for doing that. It's just made our life as nutritionists so much easier to, just recommend anything to our patients safely. Great.
Thank you for that. And that's exactly what we keep doing. The better the absorption of the supplements, that's what we work in. And not to forget that this was the only supplement where I found it was a methylated folate supplement, which really helped me with my getting my homocysteine.
Folic acid, and like the methyl form of B12 was very difficult. Again, that combination was also not available. And also, like, even my own mother, she has a lot of gut health issues, so she used to feel low energy and all of that. I started giving her homocysteine. I started giving her the later. I started with before actually. I started with the B12 for her, the chewable one. Like, she never had acidity issues because of these things. Otherwise, whenever she used to take any supplement, she used to be like, I'm feeling acidic, especially with iron also. Oh my God, that is so good. I don't see my patients getting constipation because of that. Their iron levels improve dramatically because of this. They don't complain of gastric issues. That's the biggest change that I see with the iron supplementation. Otherwise, before that, when I didn't know about Vita 1, I had a lot of trouble giving iron supplement to any of my patients because most of the people will come up with constipation and they will have iron deficiency. So I don't know what to do with them. So I had to be like, okay, try something like this or this. Even the bisglycinate form that I could find, that was also sometimes not working for my patients. So this worked beautifully. So again, iron is something that I love this for this brand.
Absolutely. And the first thing we highlight in our bottle is gentle on the stomach, because we identified that this was the biggest problem. And the only way to get over this problem is to create a supplement which is actually doesn't give you constipation and nausea. And I'm telling you, whoever uses it, I mean, the results are really, really good.
Yes, it is. I can see that with my patients. Absolutely. And is it like, do we need to take, and do you recommend any particular supplements that one should take as a woman? Because that was also something that I wanted to add. I get a lot of women who are 30 plus, and they ask that, do they need at least 3 or 4 supplements for maintenance of their health? If you can just say some good 5 or 4 or 3 supplements that is important for them to continue, according to your recommendation.
Firstly, we have to go to the basics of the nutrition, right? So the basics of the nutrition are like, we need, that our B12 levels should be, optimal. Our folate levels should be optimal. So B complex is really, really important. Again, I would advise, I don't know if it is for everybody, but I would really advise to get active B complex, a supplement of B complex, which is in the methylated form and in therapeutic dose, not something that will have 2 mcg or 50 mcg of that B12. Take it in like a good therapeutic dose. So a B complex is definitely vitamin D, right? It's a requirement for everybody. Now coming to the additional one, you need to take magnesium. There is no, compromise in the magnesium.
Can they take magnesium lifelong?
Yes, ma'am. it can be taken lifelong. Magnesium can actually be taken lifelong. You can take it for some time and then, you can stop. You can never overdose on magnesium. Your
Absolutely.
body uses your body will absorb and use what magnesium is required. Rest, it will just excrete, right? So you can never overdose on, magnesium. Magnesium is absolutely safe. What is not safe is only taking calcium supplement, because it's going to create some kind of imbalance between your magnesium and your calcium levels in the body. So
Yeah.
if you are, supplementing with calcium, please make sure that you are also taking magnesium. So these are the very basic ones, right? Then for your healing purpose, you need to take protein. Either take it from your diet, right? Count the proteins in your diet. If you are having a good diet, you're having optimal diet, you're working out, you are disease free, you don't feel tired, your body will give you signs, right, of protein deficiency too. So supplement with a good protein. It can be whey, right? It can be vegan. You have to decide what works for you best. If whey protein works for you best, then you should be supplementing with whey, right? If a vegan protein works for you, then supplement with it with a vegan. Collagen, right? I really say that, I was really against collagen earlier, because I saw these collagen vegan builders and I'm like, there's no chance that, these vegan collagen builders work. And I even told these to the suppliers, I'm like, what are you doing? I mean, how are you even getting the collagen from the plants? Right? And then they started, coming up with some kind of science. Then we just moved on to the next suppliers and we started asking about collagen supplements. There was this one person and he says, I use this collagen. You must take this. This is one of the best ones, right? It was a marine collagen. And first, I tried it. I tried it for 6 months straight. The results were amazing. I'm like, collagen supplements actually work if you're taking the correct one. If the collagen supplement is taken regularly, if it is a very high quality one, if it is bioavailable, it's going to give you results. And I've seen the results myself. I saw a lot of my skin improving, my hair improving, but the best thing I found improving is my muscle mass, right? Because I work out, I was able to, because in the end, collagen is just a protein,
Protein, yes.
right? It's a protein which is easier to digest. So you're getting extra 10 grams of protein. So even if you're in the diet, you're having 40 grams of protein. In a day, you're getting that extra 10 grams of protein through collagen, right? So it does cover your protein needs also. Easier to digest and easily broken down, gives you great results. But be careful of what kind of collagens you're taking. There are multiple collagens. You need to assess the ones that really work.
Great. So these are the proper recommendations, and I think I will also start with collagen very soon. I had taken it while in India, but that was not that great quality, so I just stopped it then and there. So now Beta 1 has that, so I can recommend that to my patients who are 30 plus. Great. Okay, so the next question is, what are some misconceptions about supplements that you frequently encounter, and how do you dispel these myths?
I think the basic trust is that, what misconceptions people have about supplements is that supplements don't work, right? That it's all a marketing gimmick, that everybody's just getting into this supplement industries, just, for the sports industries, these are for the athletes, supplements required. We don't require supplements, right? And if a person is requiring supplements, they're taking the pharma grade ones. They're going to the pharmacy, they're taking the basic supplements. They take it for 10 days. They'll take a B12 for 10 days. They prescribe and then they stop. They don't even reach an optimal level of this. So they don't get the benefits out of using supplements the correct way. I think the biggest myth is that supplements don't work, right? But if you are taking it in correct dosages, correct form, a trusted company, supplements can be magical to your health, right? Because it can, the broken chain, the processes in your body, it can fix that, right?
Yes.
So whatever nutrients your body requires and is not getting through food, supplements do that. Again, I want to say that supplements are supplements. They are not your only way to get nutrients. First, it's always food. After, when your food is not enough and you want these extra nutrients in your body, that's when you supplement, right? Be it with your protein, be it with your, you need to keep checking your levels, right? And then you need to see that once you start taking a good supplement, you see how well that works. Even it can sometimes even help in resolving issues like migraines and,
Yeah,
severe headaches and anxiety, where people are so deficient in B12 and magnesium. And then you put them on these magnesium medicines, and then suddenly you know that they're having inflammation in their body and their homocysteine levels are high. You correct their homocysteine levels, you correct the zinc deficiencies, you correct their magnesium deficiencies, the migraines go away. So what was the
absolutely.
need of that medicine?
Absolutely. I have had patients who had migraine since years. I had one lady, she used to get swelling because of migraine on her face every day, like a moon
Absolutely.
face. I started with magnesium for her, just to magnesium. Oh my God. She was having no migraine at all. Not at all. The swelling was not there. And she was like, what has changed? I don't know. Suddenly, just with this one ingredient, things have just fallen into place. And I've been taking medications for so long, so many years, for no reason. And the side effects of those medications, oh my God, you have hormonal imbalance. I've myself had a lot of migraine issues before. And I was misdiagnosed in India for vertigo. And I was on Burton for almost 1 year. And that was something that I was very scared of, that if I get migraine attacks and if I feel dizzy, I will have to depend on people. But then, thankfully, at that time, I didn't know about Beta 1, but thankfully, I had a good doctor. She was my friend from the school. And she told me that you don't need anything, you just need zinc and magnesium, and you'll be good to go. I was like, why these doctors are not telling this to other patients? I just took that and that started changing me. And after that, I got to know, okay, this is the treatment that I have to do for my patients for migraine. They must be deficient in that. And unfortunately, you can't get yourself tested for this. Like, if you do a serum magnesium, there's no point of doing that test. Uh,
Absolutely.
so people don't understand that, oh, it's coming normal, or is it like normal for me? So do I need to take that? So it doesn't make any sense. So for everybody who thinks that blood work is everything, it's not necessary. You have to go sometimes symptomatically also, because sometimes the test is not
Absolutely.
available. It's not available, it's not
100%.
able to do. So we do work symptomatically also for the patients like this, so that works beautifully, I think. Now the next question is that the last most important is, you can, if you can just brief us about what steps should someone take to verify the quality and authenticity of the supplement brand before they make a purchase. Just a short brief answer if you can give to people.
I think, Vita One mostly, basically, the concept of Vita One is education, right? That we need to educate everybody regarding the quality of the supplements, the formulations of the supplements, the doses of the supplements. And that's exactly what we are doing. So the best way to know is, take guidance from your practitioner, right?
Yes.
They are the best people who will guide you because they know, they study nutrition, right? So if you are going to ask the wrong question, or you're going to ask the wrong question to the right person, or the right question to the wrong person, right?
Hmm.
For example, if I'm going to ask a doctor who's not trained in nutrition, if I'm going to ask him, doctor, what diet should I take for diabetes? That's the first question people ask when they're diagnosed with diabetes to a doctor.
Yeah.
There are multiple doctors who are trained in nutrition, right? Through their practice, who study nutrition. There are functional medicine doctors who are completely trained in the process of supplements, nutrition, food, and pharmaceutical drugs. But then there are doctors who are not trained in nutrition. So to go back to them and ask them that, doctor, what kind of supplements do we need, or what is it that help us with our nutrition or the diet. The thing is, we need to ask these questions to the person who is right fit for us, right? So, like, I would like to tell you, like, if I would have to recommend a supplement, I would know which supplement to recommend to a
Yeah.
person,
Yeah.
right? So to check that, if it is a trusted brand, you can even go through a qualified practitioners, because we have many practitioners over here who are recommending our supplements and finding really, really good results. So firstly, see that these supplements are in therapeutic doses, or the doses that are required for your basic deficiency on your nutrient. So if
Yeah.
it's going to have very, very low doses, there's no point of taking those supplements, because supplements are required at a basic level at a certain dose,
Hmm.
right? Secondly, if the supplements are not bioavailable, they are in the form which your body is not able to absorb well, it's no point taking those supplements.
Yeah.
So supplements have to be bioavailable. They have to be in the correct dosages. They have to be third party lab tested. So if a company is doing that, then they are very confident in what they are making, right? Their supplements can be tested in any labs and it will show what they claim, right? So that is the only way to know, and that these supplements are being manufactured in GMP facilities, right?
Absolutely.
So you will know once you use them, you get the results, and the supplement will speak. So if you're taking a supplement for 3 months and if there's no improvement, there's no result, you know that this is not the
Yeah.
brand you need to go for.
Absolutely. And also, a lot of people think that, oh, I have to ask about the supplements only to a doctor, not a nutritionist. Are we really qualified to suggest supplements to the patients?
Absolutely, right? Absolutely. I would say any person who's done their research, who knows these supplements, who knows the dosages, who knows they are okay to recommend, right? So a person has to know the science, has to understand the biochemistry of these supplements, understand the formulations, and then be able to recommend or advise, right? Medicines are prescribed by doctors,
Doctors,
right?
yes.
But as nutritionists, you are able to recommend, advise what kind of supplements can be used as per the patient's requirement, even at a basic level.
Yeah. And my last question is, what role do health professionals play in the effective use of supplements, and why is their guidance so important?
I would honestly like you to answer this question, because you are one, amazing qualified nutritionist who I have seen doing amazing work and getting amazing results. So you tell me, how would you, answer this question for yourself and your practice?
I'll tell you, 15 years back when I did nutrition, I was not interested in this subject before, because I used to feel that there is no scope in India. People are not really willing to change their lifestyle, nothing they want to do. So I would rather study something else. I was preparing for my MBA later. But then I realized, okay, if MBA is looking tough for me, so I would rather do my master's in this, and I will qualify in this only and do my specialization. So I got to work with a lot of good doctors in India. I worked with top bariatric surgeons. I worked in a lot of hospitals and a lot of clinical patients. All of that I did. Eventually, I realized that the kind of practice that people do in India is like, when I was working in hospital, it looked more like a catering job. It was not where I was valued. Nobody listened to me. And even the nurses, when I used to tell them that this patient needs this, you need to give this,
I know.
they used to be like, oh, first I ask the doctor and then only I will get back to you. But I was very adamant, and I was very strict about my profession. I said, you can't be asking this to a doctor. I'm a nutritionist. You can't be doing that with my profession, because I know better about nutrition than the doctors. I was always standing for that, which most of the nutritionists don't do. That is one big problem I see. I started
With
working.
all due respect to all the doctors.
Yeah. Of course, I'm not saying that the doctors are bad. What I'm saying
Yeah,
is that a nutritionist also needs to be vocal about their profession. Is what I'm saying.
absolutely.
Doctors are great to work. I have really worked with amazing doctors. They were very supportive. But what
Yes,
comes is the self esteem and the pride to be a nutritionist. You should take that. You should stand for your profession. You should speak about the food and the supplement more consciously, and you should be confident about it. That's what I believe.
absolutely.
And when I quit my job for this reason, because I was not very satisfied. The culture that was built in the hospitals was very much like I said, it was more of a catering job. Like, this patient needs a coffee ki jagah tea bhej do, tea ki jagah coffee bhej do. That was
I've
the
seen
work I
that.
used to do that in the hospital. So that was not very satisfying for me. So when I quit my jobs and I started practicing on my own, I had a tough time finding the right kind of people. Right, people were not ready to accept. Even I remember back then when I used to tell people to eat healthy fats, it was like, even on social media, people bashed me like anything. Are you
Yes,
crazy?
absolutely.
How can you give fats? You're telling ghee? You can't be saying this. This is fattening. This is this. This is that. People were not really aware about that. This was many years back. I'm talking about like 8, 9 years back. So I had a tough time actually convincing people, educating. That's when I started practicing about education on social media. But people need to know about this and why I say this. And then thankfully, when I got to know about functional nutrition, I got to know, you won't believe, Dr. Anish is a manifestation in my life. Because you won't believe this, when I got to know about functional medicine nutrition, and I did my IIN course for hormonal health and gut health from US. I did all of that, and I was looking for somebody who can make something Indianized because everything was very Western based. So
Yes.
what I saw was. There is this ultra wellness website, and this is Dr. Anish. So if I had some chronic patients, I used to feel that, this patient needs Dr. Anish, I used to just send the website to them. And I used to be
Yes.
like, okay, this patient can see, because this is the only doctor I think will do good job, because the website was looking very good. So after that, you won't believe, I asked Renuka, I think so, that is there any doctor who I can work with and I can understand how this work in Indian scenario, the functional medicine. She just gave me Dr. Anish's number. I was like, oh my God, this is
Wow.
really a manifestation. So I spoke to him, and then he was like, oh, I'm doing this course. And when I did that, I was amazed that whatever things that I learned in US, thankfully it was all Indian based and I could just practice. From the time I started practicing, okay, I had that knowledge. It's not that I didn't know about it, but like I said, the availability was a big problem. Same patient, I'm telling you, that patient is working with me for suppose 6 months. Okay, it was 3 months initially. I worked with that patient. I gave those supplements and this and that, everything I used to do. Really, bichara, that patient also used to feel terrible. And I used to feel bad, and I used to blame my own self that I am not a good nutritionist. I really used to feel like that. कि मैं सब पढ़ रही हूँ, I'm doing everything, I'm doing my research, but still the patient is not improving. Something is wrong with me. So then when I got to know about Vita 1, I switched the same patient from those supplements to, I just convinced them. I said, I know little extra money will go, but just, you just chuck those supplements right now and just take this. I had to convince, and they were thankfully listening to me because they were very committed to me. So they switched. Oh my God, the transformations that I started seeing. Then I felt more confident with time that, okay, it's not because of the work that I do, it's because of the therapeutic doses which were given in the wrong way. Then I had those challenges where, people used to be like, okay, no, the doctor has to be giving this. You should not be giving this. You're not a doctor. But then I have to tell this to people that when you're a nutritionist, when you study so well and you have done your grad and masters and you do a lot of these courses to keep yourself updated, you are absolutely authorized to give the dosage for the supplementation. In fact, sometimes the doctors also are not so much aware about it because they study drugs, they study medicine, they don't study about nutrition and supplement to that level. They will study about the deficiencies and what basics you need, but they don't study about functional medicine, nutrition, and all these supplements,
Absolutely.
bioavailability, and all of that. They don't go into that level. They don't have so much time to do that. They are so much busier in their own practice. So we specialize in that. We really study for that long, and on everyday basis, when you see so many patients, we know that how actually we have to tweak the things at what point. So that I think is very, very important. So you must also choose the right nutritionist in the right way. The way you choose a
Absolutely.
doctor, you should also pick and choose a nutritionist. So you should study about that nutritionist, what she talks about, how she talks about, what kind of transformations that person has given, case studies, and how much are you educating the patient? Are you giving the science behind every food that you give? This is so important. Like if you're giving, I have seen patients doing only jeera water in the morning. What is the point
Yeah.
of that? What is the? I ask them, what is the logic? Oh, इससे पेट साफ रहता है. You have to give a logic for everything. You should know
Exactly. I am exactly like that. I
everything.
give logic for everything.
You have to give a logic. Only then it makes sense for a person that, oh, okay, now this is wheat, this has gliadin, it mimics your thyroid hormone, so this is why you're supposed to eliminate. Then only it goes in their head that that's why I need to eliminate this. Otherwise, people are like, oh, I'm a wheat eater, why I have to eliminate this? When you give
Exactly.
reasons,
Logic is required for everything
yeah.
here.
So
And it's important to give logic also to our patients.
absolutely. I think education is the topmost thing for our practice.
Yeah.
After that comes all this, then you don't have to convince a patient that you have to do this and this, and they are already in their head convinced that yes, I have to do this. I don't
It
have to
is
convince
so
my patients. It's so easy for even, I don't even see my patients for very like one year, 2 years. It's sometimes only when the patient feels that, oh, I need to be with you. I don't want to let go of you. Only then they work. Otherwise, even with 6 counselings, they're like, oh, I can manage it on my own, because I educate them so much that they know, okay, they, if anybody else is questioning them about this particular food or the supplement, they will know their answers, how to counterattack. So I don't have to convince anybody, because that education, I think, is very, very
same,
important as a health professional.
same school of thought. Same, when I tell my patients, I don't want to see you again, right?
Yeah,
I don't want to
exactly.
run to
Yeah,
anybody
why should
after this
you?
because this
And
is the
what
end.
will you do? And I don't understand, what will I do after you come to me after 6 counseling? Suppose, for example, I work with you for 6 counseling. I will tell you the same thing. You know how
Exactly.
to do it on your own now. So please take it forward on your own. You don't have to keep renewing the plans with us. I always believe in that. And I think that's
Absolutely.
what builds the trust with the patients also, because you're not doing
Absolutely.
everything for making money here. Your intention, like you have the product based supplement in industry, so similarly for a nutritionist, it has to be that, it has to be patient oriented. It should not be
Absolutely.
money making business, because health is not for money always. It, of course, we are doing this for the bread and the butter, but it's not, we can't use health as a medium to just make money from people and give wrong guidance. Of course, we feel
So
cheated,
true.
right? When we meet the wrong doctors and we don't feel that, oh my God, this doctor is looting us in the hospital. So, similarly, with the nutritionist, you have to pick and choose the right one. If they're asking you to keep on renewing these packages and fancy things,
Then they're not educating you.
absolutely, absolutely. And I
Right?
always believe Beta One also does this. Sorry, not Beta One, with Dr. Anish, they do this in the programs. They do a pre consultation also. And I believe that pre consultations are a very important part, because you get to know that person. Even the doctor, you come to know, like if you're picking the right person or not. With the way you speak, if you're very salesy, and if you're just talking about, join this, join this, join this,
If your
they are
product
there.
is good, you don't need marketing. I told you I don't have an
Absolutely.
Instagram account. We
Absolutely.
don't have like, any
Yeah,
accounts right now, but
absolutely.
because the product speaks for itself. So,
Absolutely.
I mean, we do have to market eventually, but right now it's just a lot of word of mouth. And, Shikha, I'd like to add, like, there was a time, because a lot of doctors get connected to me, a lot of nutritionists connect to me, to know about Vitamin supplements. So there was a doctor who connected to me, one of the most well-known doctors of India. And he said that, I want to have a call with you and I want to discuss all these supplements. How can I use it? How nervous I was. I was like, he wants to know from me,
Yeah.
right? Like, he's the most well-known, personality in the, medical field. What am I going to talk to him,
Yeah.
And then, the conversation was so good. Never seen somebody so humble. And I realized one thing. Functional medicine is a new practice,
Yeah.
right? Even doctors want to learn it, right? Even their enthusiasm. So my knowledge is what I have gained throughout the years is something I wanted to share with, everybody. And he was so humble about it. He was asking such good questions, wanting to learn about all the kind of dosages, what kind of, how he can use it to, break down the homocysteine levels, because the biggest problem he was having with patients was high homocysteine levels,
Mhm.
and he was like, I don't know, whatever I have tried, I've even given them a lot of, B complex, but the homocysteine levels don't come down. So I explained him the science behind
Mhm.
why we formulated homocysteine, why was there a TMG, what are the, therapeutic doses we are using. And he was just amazed, and he's been using it for all his patients now, getting really amazing results out of it.
Yeah,
So this
exactly.
science, what we know, or what we know even as nutritionists or, functional medicine practitioners, doctors, is all here to stay. And this community, this field is growing so much, because why? Because it is so effective,
Yeah.
right? It is so result oriented, more than the diet, more than anything. This practice can really turn your health over to, a place where you can't even imagine that you can feel so good, even later in your life, or later, at a later age.
Absolutely. So I think the things that you guys initiated has benefited all of us, especially. And I don't have any doubts to be a good nutritionist now because you guys are making such amazing products and the transformations that the patients are getting is amazing. In fact, all my
Thank
patients from
you.
US, when they find it in US, they are good to go. But when they go back to India, I ask them to buy the Vita one and just take it here because sometimes finding the right protein is also with the phospholipid and all of that is very difficult to find here in US also. So I tell them if you're going there, please get it from there and just bring it here for like a stock. So this is how good the products are. And thank you so much, Rashi, for throwing such bright light on the supplementation and how to pick and choose what kind of supplements to go for and how health and nutrition is so important to go along with the right kind of supplementation. Thank you so much for having me and in this podcast. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Shikha. It was my pleasure. I really enjoyed doing this because this knowledge is here to stay, and the more the more people we educate, the better health they are going to get. I don't want anybody just because of a small deficiency that they should get on medications, or go after one medication to the other, and just by changing a little bit of modifying their lifestyle, taking these good quality supplements, they can benefit a lot, and the same way you have benefited, the same way I've benefited. I come across every day hundreds of people who come and they say, thank you for, making our health better by just these simple measures that they have been taking. So I feel very blessed that, that I can help and, change people's lives by just doing these these educating podcasts and talking to people like you. So thank you very much. It was very insightful, and I wish good health to all our patients, and I wish that the functional medicine community grows and every doctor or every nutritionist learns and practices the science of functional medicine.
Yes. Thank you so much, Rashi. Thank you.
Thank you, Shikha. Bye bye.
Bye.